Okay, people, so there may be some bad news for the Boruto 2 Blue Vortex anime return after this announcement that we just recently got regarding one of the main players, one of the key people behind the Boruto anime and its production as it stands right now. And I'm gonna be honest, it's not necessarily the most surprising to hear things like this nowadays when it comes to the anime industry, but you definitely don't want to hear something like this, especially when fans have been highly anticipating the return of the Boruto anime with 2 Blue Vortex. And before we continue, hit that subscribe button, that bell, so I can notify you on everything and anything in the world of anime and manga. I got you covered. Now, as of the recording of this video, it has been quite a few years since the end of the original Boruto anime, Boruto Naruto Next Generations, and fans have been eagerly awaiting for this thing to return. We've been waiting for quite some time, and so when we finally started getting word that the Boruto anime is in production via certain announcements, via the actress behind Naruto saying that essentially she's been working on some of it as well, like there's essentially been confirmation that the Boruto anime is in production, despite the fact that, yeah, Studio Pierrot, the studio behind Boruto, have also been working on their other IPs like Black Clover and Bleach. Ultimately, a lot of fans are like, yo dog, when is this thing gonna happen already? And while it's not confirmed right now, we're looking at either 2026 or 2027 for the return of the Boruto anime. Because again, you got Black Clover and Bleach that are slated to return very soon, so it's probably leaning towards either late 2026 or early 2027, unless they start off with a movie of sorts. But regardless of what, it definitely has seemed up until this point that things were smooth sailing for the most part regarding the return of the Boruto anime with 2 Blue Vortex. The manga has been fantastic. Need to do a new video here soon talking about what's been going on, because the manga, once again with the last few chapters, has just been incredible and awesome. But as far as the anime goes, we recently got word from one of the crew members that has a lot of people wondering, well, could this jeopardize the return of the Boruto anime, and what resides for the future of the Boruto anime for that matter with what's going on? Because according to this, it says Boruto anime director Masayuki Koda left a concerning statement for fans yesterday. He said, maybe I should just quit being an animator and see what happens. It'll work out somehow, right? Fans have left words of comfort as TV anime Boruto director was also removed from his bio. Essentially, it seems as though potentially the director of the Boruto anime has left the project, or could potentially be having some essentially negotiations behind the scenes with the powers that be as far as what resides for the future for him. Because we know historically that the anime industry is very much so volatile, and a lot of the times, unless you're a higher up, well, promotions and things of that nature is very much so a big issue. And while I try not to necessarily speculate too much on things, ultimately there's a few different possibilities as to why homie is potentially walking away from the Boruto anime project. It could potentially be that, yo, they promised him some things and he's like, yo, y'all not gonna deliver on what y'all promised, and I'm out, like, later. And at the end of the day, we know the importance of somebody at that position. First of all, you don't get to a position like director of something of sorts without being essentially extremely talented and very valuable. Like, seems like homie knows his worth to the point that he's willing to put his, you know, trust in himself to be able to make these moves. Like, when you're in these industries, it is a very difficult task for somebody to even speak up for themselves. Oftentimes people stay quiet, abide by the whole ideology of the nail that sticks out gets hammered in. Like, a lot of people, they really be scared to speak out for what they feel is right or what they feel they deserve. So for homie to say those things, he's not completely an absolute saying like, yo dog, I'm gone, I'm done, but him say like, yo, maybe I should just quit, like, yo, things is gonna work out, right? Which again leads me to believe that there's probably behind the scenes negotiations going on where homie is like, give me what you promised or I'm gone, and that's it. And if he truly leaves this project, it's probably going to also add a delay to the Boruto 2 Blue Vortex anime return, or the Boruto anime return as a whole, because again, those are very huge shoes to fill when you're in a position like that, when you're essentially kind of at the helm of a project of this magnitude. And considering the fact that Studio Pierrot also has other major projects going all at once, they probably can't afford right now for a project to lose some of a key player of sorts like that from the Boruto anime. On top of the fact that, like, the Boruto anime, similar to again a lot of of the IP that are under the umbrella of Studio Pierrot is not just a small little quaint project. It's not just a seasonal anime that they're testing out to see if it can get some traction. Like, this is a spinoff of one of the most popular IP of all time, one of the most popular franchises in the world, Naruto. You know, the blonde-haired ninja? Yeah, that is a very big deal. It's much more than most people even lead people to believe, because, you know, people try to play Boruto as far as saying things like, because it's not as successful as Naruto, that, oh my gosh, it's like we already know the truth. We know that Boruto is an extreme success. It sells more than most of stuff that is in the main Shonen Jump magazine. Meanwhile, Boruto is in a spin-off manga magazine with Jump Square. Boruto has been keeping that publication afloat, with Dragon Ball not being in the loop over the last few years because of what happened with Toriyama and everything that followed. Like, Boruto is not just some small quaint relic that they can allow to just kind of diminish of sorts. Like, there's a reason why, despite the fact of naysayers and critics alike coming about and, you know, kind of typing their nonsense on the internet, these studios still have allowed for Boruto as a series and as a franchise to continue going, because it's very much so valuable, like really valuable. And with the way anime is done, especially nowadays, there's like a lot of things happening in the field of anime, right? Like, of course, you have the people in charge, but then you also have a lot of the things that's happening with AI, which I'm not, of course, saying that Studio Pierrot is going to be utilizing AI for this project, but again, with everything that follows, they might have to utilize it if this guy walks away. And I know some people are probably going to frown on it, because there's a lot of people that are very against AI, although I am going to add in the fact that despite some people be very hardcore against AI, people be a little bit on the hypocritical stuff, be like, yo, no, don't use AI is bad, except if I'm using it. That's how it be, though. But yeah, it seems as though potentially the director of the Boruto anime might be walking away from the project, or might have already walked away from the project. Only time will tell. How you guys feel about this thing? Do you think that this is going to cause a delay for the Boruto anime's return? And in my opinion, in general, if they are playing homie and they're not giving him his worth or whatnot, then maybe it is time to walk away from a project, regardless of how passionate you may be about things. But only time will tell. That's all I have for this one. I'm Tim. As always, people, have an awesome day. Peace in.
If you ain't got my back, get away from me. If you only talking crap, get away from me. Man, this really ain't that. Get away from me. Just to keep the shit as that. Get away from me.